So let me show you how to use the TI-83 Plus to find the mean, standard deviation, and variance. So first we'll go ahead and hit the Stat button to get into our list setup, and we will create a list in edit mode, so I can go ahead and just hit enter. And now I see a bunch of different lists of numbers. I'm going to put all my data in list 1. It's already filled with some numbers, but if I arrow over and then all the way up so that the L1 is highlighted, I can now use the clear button followed by enter to clear out the entire list. I'm just going to pick a couple small numbers like 5, enter, 3, enter, 8, enter. Just a couple little numbers. It's waiting for a fourth number, but I'm not going to enter that. So now to calculate the values I want, I'm going to hit the Stat button again, but instead of editing my list, I'm ready to calculate my data. So I'm going to arrow over once to calculate, and I'm going to be working with one variable statistics, so since the one is already highlighted, I can go ahead and hit enter. Now with the TI-83 Plus, you actually don't have to state which list you want. You can go ahead and hit enter, and you'll get the data for your set in list 1 as a default. Otherwise, had I specifically wanted to clarify that I'm in list 1, as it's waiting for a list entry, you'll notice it says L1 above the number 1 in yellow. Then I can hit the yellow second button and the number 1 to put L1 as my list of data and hit enter. Same values we saw. X bar represents both the sample and population mean of 5.333, etc. Sigma sub x, the fourth item down with the value of 2.516, etc., is the sample standard deviation, whereas sigma x is the population standard deviation. The calculator doesn't know whether your data represents a sample or a population, so it gives you the standard deviation for both cases, and here the N3 represents how many values I had. The variance is just the standard deviation squared, but instead of having to hand type either of these two numbers, I can go ahead and now hit the VARS button diagonally down from the Stat button. And I've got some options, but I want number 5, statistics. I can either arrow down to number 5 and hit the enter button to see the values from my previous screen, or when I was on VARS, instead of arrowing down, if I go ahead and push the 5 for statistics, it brings me right to where I want. I'm now going to arrow down to the sample standard deviation, and even though I can see the number above, I don't see it typed out, I can now use the X squared button followed by enter, and that 2.516, etc. number squared is 6.333. And if I want the variance, it's still, for the population, it's still under VARS, number 5, population standard deviation, hit enter to see that symbol. I'm going to go ahead and hit X squared and enter, and that 2054, etc. number squared would give me 4.222, etc.